Well, welcome to another Grumpy Gardener. This one is still on cannabinoids and blood pressure. Yeah, I'm still working on that one. There is data out there. There have been some really good studies on this. There was one recently I read from Croatia, where they were using CBD, controlling blood pressure with patients. Well, here's the problem. Okay, if you decide to use a cannabinoid as a sleep aid and as a blood pressure regulator, now I had chosen Delta 8 THC because it's a little less potent than the Delta 9, so it's not as psychoactive. It induces sleep very well, and that was why I started to use it, was as a sleep aid. I'd take a little bit of it after dinner, and eventually I'd start feeling kind of drowsy and pretty stoned and pass out, and usually sleep till about 1 o'clock in the morning when my bladder would give me a call. But yeah, I'd sleep pretty good on the stuff. No problems. Well, then, one day I discovered, by measuring my blood pressure, that the stuff was actually lowering my blood pressure, and I was able to stop taking one of the pills that I had been taking, and I probably do not need the other one. I am still taking a calcium channel blocker called amlodipine, which has never really seemed to do much of anything for me. Okay, I have not noticed blood pressure lowering from that drug. The only reason I keep taking it is because it's cheap, and it doesn't seem to have very many side effects on me. Most things oftentimes have terrible side effects, but that one, it seems sometimes to get a little bit of swelling in the morning in the right palm. That's about it, and that's, for me, tolerable. It goes away after I start moving. But anyway, so I had realized when I ran out of one of my blood pressure medications that my blood pressure was finally down to a normal rate at about 120/74 or so. And that happened only after I stopped taking blood pressure medication. Apparently there was something in the blood pressure medication that was antagonizing with the Delta 8. Because the Delta 8 would not lower my blood pressure to that point until I stopped taking the other pill. Losartan, maybe it was. I don't recall anymore. Maybe, yeah, that's probably what it was. I don't know. One of the real common ones people take. Gives me a horrible backache. I had terrible side effects with the thing anyway. But, well, then I saw my blood pressure go down, and I was delighted. I realized, wow, I've been using this for sleep, but it's working on my blood pressure. Well, the problem, again, with cannabinoids like Delta 8 THC is I build tolerance, and I build it pretty quick. If I used Delta 8 as a sleep and a blood pressure aid every evening for a month, after a month's time or so, if I tried to consume a regular cannabis product, like I tried smoking a reefer, nothing happens. That's right. It's like, it's probably not even as potent as smoking a Marlboro. Yeah, after a while. My body becomes so accustomed to the THC that it just doesn't react to it anymore. It still seems to help me with sleep, and it still seems to reduce my blood pressure. But, well, I think one of the reasons a lot of us do this is because we enjoy the feeling. Well, I don't get the feeling anymore after a while. Yeah, it's a neuter. So, in the past, every now and then, the only way I've been able to deal with this is quit. Yeah, I just had to stop, not do anything at all related to cannabis for at least a week. That usually works. 2 weeks is even better, but a week will usually do it. Yeah, so then I go back. All right, well, the last time I did this thing, see, I noticed my blood pressure was going back up, and it actually went up to about 150/80 something. Well, That wasn't good. Yeah. And so I said, all right, I got a problem here. I can deal with the sleep thing, but the blood pressure thing is more important. And I have gotten used to having my blood pressure low because of this. And when it goes up, it bothers me. So I decided, this time, instead of just going flat out on it, I had recently read a good study in Croatia where they had been administering CBD to people with high blood pressure who were taking medications and not taking medications, both groups. And they had tremendous results with it in the study. It was very positive. The dosage on most of the studies I've seen, I had this question last time. I know, somebody asked me, and I didn't know. I do have a rough idea now, but it's rough because the dosage that they're using is everywhere between 450 to 600 to as much as 1,200 milligrams of CBD. And this, I'm talking about the more or less 99% pure crystalline, in other words, a pure CBD. And they're using up to, over 1,000 milligrams of this stuff. 600 milligrams of it will pretty much fill a double-A gelatin capsule. That's how much that is. Well, minimum dosage usually for most people when you're using this safe dose that people would use for, minor issues, 150 milligrams. All right. So I started out yesterday after I decided I was stopping using Delta 8. Okay, so I started using the CBD, and I started with 150 milligrams. And I read my blood pressure after that, and yeah, I'd been running a blood pressure somewhere around 120 over, I think it was like 78, which was pretty good. Not to complain about, but I decided, I was a little worried if I take this, is it going to go lower? I don't want it to go lower. But I took it, and then later on I took a nap because it made me a little drowsy, a little bit, I think. And, when I woke up, my blood pressure had actually gone up after taking it. I went up to 135, I believe, over 85. I said, it's probably because I was resting. Oftentimes, if I sleep, I wake up, the blood pressure's higher. Well, so then I took 300 milligrams of the stuff. And later on, checked my blood pressure, and I had 125 over 74. I said, all right, this is working. This is working. So I went to sleep, and this morning I got up, and so I let everything settle down after breakfast, and then I just measured the blood pressure again. I had 130 over 80, which for me is a pretty darn good reading, okay? Typically, without any kind of medications, my readings are all going to be 150 over 85 and higher. Just the way I run. Yeah, right, Gracie? Huh? Yeah, well, anyway, it was still down this morning, and so I haven't taken any more. Yeah, I haven't taken any more at all. And so it's looking like a good possibility for most of us that maybe if you're taking another, let's say, a calcium channel blocker or something for blood pressure, that maybe about 300 milligrams of the stuff a day, CBD, might do the job. Yeah. Now what I'm hoping is that it doesn't affect the tolerance level to the other cannabinoids. Most of this stuff, it isn't out there. You want to find out? You can do some research on some of the studies out there, but by and large, you're going to try it on yourself and your friends and find out what happens. That's pretty much it, folks. Yeah, this is Wild West medicine, kind of, in a way, when you're dealing with these cannabinoids, because they've been illegal for so long. We don't know much about them. We're ignorant. Yet they appear to be very medically active. So, like I say, I'm just hoping that the CBD, taking it for the blood pressure, isn't going to affect the overall tolerance to the cannabinoids. This is yet to find out. We don't know. I'm hoping this will be the case. All right. Well, now, in consideration of the fact that I had been using the Delta 8 for sleep, not just blood pressure. The blood pressure was an accidental discovery. Well, I said, well, maybe I had better get myself some over-the-counter sleep aid. So I did that. And I went on Amazon and I picked out some nice natural one that's got a 3-layer type of situation, that's got a fast release melatonin, a regular release, and some sort of an herbal thing that's got like lavender and other calming herbs in it. I said, all right, that's a natural sort of a thing, more or less. And then I went ahead and picked up another one that is the classic patent medicine antihistamine, one of the two that they use for over-the-counter sleep aids. I've never tried one of these before. It would be interesting. But, well, I have experimented with melatonin in the past, but mostly lower dose stuff. In general, I have not found that I react very well to it. Yeah, I get the side effects, most of them. You know, I get queasy. It makes me feel somewhat nauseous. It can give me a headache. I don't like the feeling of the stuff. It's not a good thing for me. It's kind of like taking vitamins. They will oftentimes really mess with me, too, because I guess my body produces or holds enough of them. Doesn't need any more. Same thing goes with melatonin. I start putting that stuff in my body, and my body rejects it big time. Says, what are you doing? Well, it happened last night, and this was the worst experience ever. Yeah, because this tablet I bought had a fast, a medium, and then these herbs. And, wow, I took the stuff. I went to sleep. Yeah, it put me to sleep. It worked really well. But then Ellen comes in later on and starts messing around in the bedroom and changing clothes and looking for slippers and all and making a big lot of noise and all this, and it woke me up. Well, when it woke me up, boy, talk about one evil SOB. I was so ornery. Oh, man, I about threw her out of the bedroom. I said, what the hell are you doing? And it persisted after she left, and I tried to go back to sleep again. Every time I woke up during the night, I'm thinking about my idiot sons who are too rude to return their messages half the time, and one of them does some really stupid stuff. Anyway, boy, in there, I'll write them both off. That's it. Never talk to them again. I'm done with them. They're a couple of idiots. Well, later on, the effect began to wear off a bit, and I just kind of gone to the usual headache and nausea, melatonin, and I started reconsidering the situation when I said, well, you know, I got one of them that's been a real challenge. And I mean, really, my life might be much better today if he wasn't here. Okay, but that's not his problem. The other one, I guess I'd miss him. Probably, yeah. So I decided not to do such a radical thing. Yeah. Oh, and then I finally did get a responding email from the one of them. So, oh man, I tell you, if there's anybody right around here in the neighborhood that can use melatonin, I got some deluxe stuff here, but I can't not use it, and I'll be more than willing to give it away because I only used one, so I can't return it. So I will probably attempt to try the other over-the-counter sleep aid coming up here and see how that works out for me. I don't, you know, it may be all right. And I'm hoping in a week or so I can just go back to what I've been doing and use Delta 8 to help me go to sleep and reduce the blood pressure. But in the meantime, I am discovering that dosages of CBD, somewhere, you know, right around 300 or 400 milligrams, seems to control my blood pressure without elevating me and getting me high. It's not psychoactive. It makes me feel a little bit drowsy and maybe somewhat anesthetized. I have a feeling if you used it all the time that those reactions will probably wear off because they're pretty minor. Okay, folks. Hey, aloha. Y'all hang loose. Have a good day.